We keep rolling on here day one of this 2024 MLB Nike RBI Central Regional Tournament here in Chicago, Illinois. Indianapolis Nike RBI and Kansas City Royals Nike RBI get set to go in Game 3 of our quadruple header here on the Windy City Sports Network 2. Here's the schedule from today's action already here at Granderson Stadium. White Sox Nike RBI victorious 7-4. While Kansas City just beat up on the new kids on the block, Gary, 12-3. Hi, everyone. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. We're ready for the first afternoon session of this tournament. Alongside James Winkin, I'm Gavin Later. And James, started this Kansas City team. The offense was slow, but in the end, they got going when that mattered most, and they pulled away and with a big 9-run victory.
Yeah, Kansas City was able to pull away as the game progressed on, and they were just swinging for the fences. Also taking a lot of pitches later on in the game and getting the bases loaded. A lot of hit by pitches as well. So they're doing it all defensively wise. Definitely to see for this next game how the bottom half of that lineup looks again. They're very strong in that suit. We'll see how the first half of that lineup progresses and if they're able to bounce back from their struggles at the plate.
Yeah, the bottom four was unbelievably good in their first game against Gary. Meanwhile, for an Indianapolis team, they're consistently the dark horse of this tournament field. So how has the dark horse become the horse in this year's tournament?
Yeah, I think the dark horse in this tournament, they definitely have to be seen with more light. They have to be more vibrant. They have to definitely do that through swinging at first pitches within that first few innings and slates that they have, and make sure that they are able to not be as secretive anymore, be seen, and in order to do that, they have to demolish Kansas City today.
We're ready to go. Indy and Kansas City. Game 3 of 4 on the docket today. We'll be right back with first pitch right after this. And here we go. 45 minutes after scheduled first pitch, we're ready for Indianapolis and Kansas City. And the first pitch from Ali Bishop Oliver. In there for a called strike to Micah Rienstra Kirikov. He's the senior home run derby champion from last night. He hit 4 of them in total.
Yeah, 4 home runs in total last night in that home run derby. He had an amazing outing. Congrats to him on that senior home run derby winner championship. And we'll see what he does here in this first plate appearance.
Strike 1 called there.
So we do know that Kirikov does have a lot of power, but one thing that we were also able to see within that derby was that he doesn't just shy away from going powerful into that left field. He goes kind of all over the place.
Chopped weakly on the ground at third. Sanchez bobbles it, and he's got no play. He had a couple of errors in that first game they had against Gary Nike RBI. Now he opens this one up with an E5.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not what you want to do if you're Kansas City right now. Having an error to start off the game, Kirikov is just able to just speedily run his way through to first base and make it safely in time, even with the error.
First pitch down and in to Cam Seats, the left fielder today for Indianapolis. First game in their 2024 regional tournament. They went 2-2 a year ago. Runner on the move, that one downstairs. Throw down from Johnson, not in time. Give Rienstra Kirikov a stolen base.
Rienstra Kirikov has just have so much speed. That man just went right off of instinct. Once the pitch was thrown, he was already about 20 feet to the next bag.
To the right side, and it gets by Bishop Oliver and into right field. Around third comes Rienstra Kirikov, and it's 1-0 Indianapolis.
Things aren't looking steadily sound for the Kansas City Royals RBI team as of lately. They first off start with an error, and then this one gets away from their second baseman.
Also ruled an error, and just like that, it's 1-0 on 2 errors in the infield. Strike 1 there taken by DJ Mendez. He's one that picks the clicks, according to the manager John Boggs, who is currently in his 10th year as involved with Indianapolis Nike RBI. That one misses downstairs, the ball on a strike. It's a team that 2 years ago surprised everyone by going 3-1, but because they were on the wrong side of virtually every tiebreaker you could think of, they were on the outside looking in come Championship Sunday despite having a 3-1 record. Last year, a little bit of a down year, 2-2, a lot of roster turnover, but this year they're hoping to not only build off a 2-2 record, but excel beyond just the 2-win mark.
Yeah, and I think with players returning from this year, you had a turnaround from last year, of course, going from that 2-2 season the last year and the year prior to that 3-1 because of how many pieces were removed from that senior level team. Now coming into this year, you're going to have a lot of pieces that are same faces and some new pieces that will click all together. So we'll see what Indianapolis is able to do.
Seats on the move. That one's lifted in the air, deep left center field. That one's all the way back to the wall. Will bounce all the way to it. Seats around third. He will come across to score. Mendez digging for 3, and he's in there with an RBI triple, and it's 2-0 Indianapolis.
DJ Mendez have a day already, a triple, oh baby. He's able to just get it in there and just hit that gap, and then just right off of the bat, he's able to just keep running all the way to third. Indy already up 2-0 at this point.
Still no one out here in the top of the first. Will Jacobs is the batter. And he pops that one up straight back behind home plate. That's a carom on the wild pitch away from Johnson, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, Johnson just, the ball takes a really bad bounce and it just hits the backstop, and DJ is able to just remain safely in. He just runs all the way from third to home, able to stand up and securely score for Indy, making it 3-0.
That one's downstairs. Will Jacobs now has a count at 1-1.
What we see from Will Jacobs, it's definitely he's definitely taking a lot more time than the past 3 batters that we had.
Swinging a high fly ball, deep left field. Powell drifting back onto the track. It bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. And Indy has brought out the big sticks here in the top of the first inning in their first game of this regional tournament. Still no one out, and the first 4 men have reached base.
Yeah, first 4 men reach base. You get back-to-back extra base hits. It's going to be a long day for Bishop if he's not able to control and get an out quickly, as the first 4 already have reached base.
J.J. Calms the hitter. Ball called there, and the runner goes to third as Ali Bishop Oliver did not come set.
It's not all to say that Bishop Oliver has been struggling as much as recently. It's just that these balls have just been crushed by this Indiana team.
Calms lifts that one in the air, left center field. That one's caught, tagging from third is Jacobs. Throw to the plate, offline, 4-0 Indianapolis.
They're just dominating Kansas City already. 4-0 in the first already. I mean, what more can you ask for this team?
Dream start for Indy Nike RBI. Hello. 4-0, only 1 out here in the top of the first. Colin Gooley is the hitter. He takes that one for a strike.
Now we see what Colin Gooley has to offer. I mean, the last 3 batters that were up before him have all hit the ball all the way out to the outfield. Of course, the batter before him called out on that pop fly, but I mean, 4-0 already. We'll see what Gooley is able to do here. I do like his approach. He goes very calmly into his swing.
2-1. Gooley just off the end of the bat fouls it off. Two. Out in front, fouls it off.
He's trying to win this battle right here. He's got some really good contact with that ball. Just trying to fight it off. See another day.
Two. Fouls it off again.
And then Gooley just keeps attacking. He's just trying to find that one that will actually go fair for once. A lot of foul balls within his first plate appearance.
Just missed the outside corner for a breaking ball, and it's 3-2. Blooped on the right side and caught by Alamin Bishop Oliver, the younger brother of the pitcher Ali. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the first.
And Alamin Bishop Oliver able to just really corral that baseball. That's just a little bit of a floater, able to just backdrop 1-2 step, catch that ball, and secure the second out for this Kansas City Royals RBI team.
Carter Hunt now comes on up with 2 gone and no one aboard. His team already up 4-0 here. On top of anyone, number 1. I mean, if you're a coach like John Boggs is with the experience he has, I don't think you can ask for much more at this point.
Yeah, there's not much to ask for when you have a team that's just attacking pitch by pitch and just swinging for the fences. I mean, 4-0 out of the gates is the perfect start you can ask for, as any manager would be. If I was a manager, I would be pleased to be in that driver's seat right now.
It's a cut and a miss for strike 2. And it's just such a stark difference from what we saw from that Kansas City team in game 1, where we watched Tyler Jackson shove for 6 innings of 1 earned run baseball. Gave up 3 overall. Only 1 of them was earned, though.
Yeah, beautiful outing by Jackson there. He has just 1 earned run, 1 hit on that. Of course, the 3 in total, but 2 of them came on errors, which seems to be a problem for Kansas City as of right now.
That's strike 3 called, and that will end the inning. But it's not before Indy does some damage of their own. 4 runs on 2 hits. And they lead early here in this one. Back in a moment on the Windy City Sports Network. We're in the bottom of the first, 4-0 Indianapolis Nike RBI on top, and Ali Bishop-Oliver stands in and takes a strike from Weston Harvey, the big right-handed pitcher for Indy Nike RBI. Just graduated from Franklin Central High School this past spring, and he's already up 0-2 on Bishop-Oliver.
Yeah, Weston Ali already controlling the zone. Of course, it's a small data source of just 2 pitches, but those last 2.
Make it 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. What a start for Harvey out there with Bishop-Oliver down on strikes.
And Harvey is just, sorry about that. Harvey has just been dominant with those 3 pitches. 3 pitches up, 3 pitches down, and he just sits down Bishop-Oliver with a strikeout.
Strike there taken by Sharon Bryant. He's in center field today. In the second game for KC.
A big swing by Sharon Bryant there. Just unable to keep up with his velocity.
Lined and fouled off the right side. That's strike 3 there. Back-to-back Ks to start the game. So now with 2 away, it's up to Elijah Sanchez to try to keep the inning alive and prevent a scoreless first inning. Already 2 quick strikeouts for this Royals lineup, and we saw them in that first game, the Royals Nike RBI lineup. Top 4, I mean, there was a couple of exceptions, the top 5 hitters in that lineup, but really it was the bottom four that did the bulk, if not all of the damage for Kansas City in their 13-2 victory over Gary Nike RBI a little bit ago.
Yeah, it was definitely that bottom four of that lineup, that first game that the Kansas City Royals RBI team had a lot of damage done for them in that specific spot. Lots of struggling within that top five of the lineup, so we'll see what happens here.
It works quickly, and it's 1-2.
What I like about Harvey is that he's able to just completely deliver each pitch so quickly.
Just missed. He began strutting off.
That's a pitcher's mentality you always want as a coach, just someone that's able to just feel so confident and think that that's going to be strike three there, almost strutting off.
It's fouled off right to the right side. Kansas City didn't score more than 5 runs in a game in last year's regional. They scored just 6 total. Here's the 2-2. Sanchez grounds it foul left side. They were shut out twice. They put up 13 runs in the earlier game against Gary just a short time ago. Granted, Gary's defense, there were several innings in which Gary's defense, or I should say lack of it, really helped him out.
Yeah,
several innings with multiple errors for this Gary team. They had 2 errors in the 3rd, 2 errors in the 7th. All in all, 6 errors in the game against the Royals Nike RBI side, and that played a big factor in that 13-2 victory for Kansas City.
Yeah, it definitely played a big factor in that victory for Kansas City, and especially when you're playing a team that hasn't played in this tournament whatsoever, there's going to be lots of guys that are nervous defensively. So.
Just missed, and it goes full.
We'll see how Kansas City responds to this big inning that Indy was able to put on the board in that first.
That's ball 4. A 2-out base runner there as Sanchez. Nice battle by him, and he's able to work a walk.
Definitely one thing to look for with Kansas City's offense is that they've run up a lot of walks. So if they're able to just run up Harvey's pitch count as much as possible, this can be a game for the ages.
Miguel Navarro. He's the first baseman stepping in, and he swings first pitch and fouls it off.
Now Navarro, his first 3 plate appearances didn't really do anything. Then when it came later into the game, he was able to hit 2 singles. But for him, he just needs to make sure that those 2 singles are what he's thinking about right now and not his first 3. And I think as you think about later on, those later plate appearances are the ones that you're thinking about within this next game.
1-2 is the count with 2 away. Runner on first base. Sanchez fakes the run as Navarro fouls it off. And we've seen in these last 2 at-bats a persistent attempt at working the pitch count of Harvey because of how good he's been at pounding the zone.
Yeah, he's definitely been pounding the zone very quickly.
Fouls it off again. Really just good at bats here from Sanchez and Navarro so far. Sanchez obviously came from a 2-strike hole to work a walk. Navarro down 1-2, and he goes down swinging here. So nice job by Harvey working out the 2-out walk. And we played an inning here. 4-0 Indy Nike RBI on the Windy City Sports Network. We're in the top of the second. 8-9 in the top of the order already for Indianapolis Nike RBI. They sent 7 men to the plate in the first inning. They put up 4 runs on 2 hits and benefited from 2 Kansas City errors to start the game. And that really set the tone for that entire first inning. Just the 2 errors to the first 2 batters has unfortunately done Kansas City in so far.
Yeah, those first 2 errors to the first 2 batters are...
That's drilled in the air, left field. Powell going back onto the track. He makes the catch for the out.
Amazing catch, but putting a bow on what I was saying earlier, but those first 2 errors on those first 2 batters are what's definitely going to hurt you on. If you let someone on, especially that leadoff guy, more times than not, they're going to score in that specific inning, whether it's a walk, whether it's an error, sometimes a base hit, but usually those first 2.
Carson Griggs lays off that one downstairs. He's the designated hitter, batting for the pitcher, Weston Harvey, who had a great first inning. Bishop Oliver chucks in a strike, evens things out at 1 aside. This is an Indy Nike RBI side who did a great job at scoring runs. Run prevention, though, was the issue at points. They scored 28 runs across the 4 games in the regional last year. Here's the 2-1. That's popped up right side out of play. And they had a run differential of +14. So you're thinking, hey, 2-2, I mean, you know, a +14 and 28 runs score in a 4-game tournament. Usually you would think you had the better record, but run prevention was the issue as that strike 3 called on the outside corner, and Griggs is retired.
Yeah, you would definitely think that with run prevention, the run differential, I mean, is that since they have such a plus number that they would be able to make that tournament. But of course, as you said within the earlier games, no team that has lost 2 has made the championship. And also with that defensive prevention of runs, they're just having that struggle. With his first inning, though, West Harvey was able to completely prevent some runs from scoring. So we'll see how he progresses later on within this game.
Popped up, headed towards the concourse, and bounces in front of James and I.
So close, but yet so far.
It was.
Probably a few feet, maybe 2 to 3 feet, just from arm's reach.
0-2. Grounded back to the mound, Bishop Oliver. Smooth sailing, and that'll end the second inning. 3 up, 3 down goes Indianapolis. Inning and a half has gone by here on the Windy City Sports Network 2. bottom of the second, 4-0 Indy Nike RBI on top of Royals Nike RBI. New pitcher into the game, Caden Taylor for Indianapolis. So 1 inning of shutout no-hit baseball there for Weston Harvey, where he struck out 3 batters. He did not strike out the side though, he walked a guy with 2 outs. So he struck out 3 of the 4 hitters he faced. Pitching staff ultimately though for Indianapolis, that was the big focal point, and we're going back to our conversation we had, towards the latter half of the top of this inning, in which we were talking about run prevention and how it was, a lot of people were confused. And when you look just purely from a numbers standpoint, and like James and I were talking about, where they scored 28 runs over a 4-game span, had a plus 14 run differential, yet somehow went 2-2. And obviously the nature of this format obviously creates for a lot of weird things. I mean, I will say both their losses they had, when you look at the losses, their losses were, if looking at margin, -1 and -3. So their losses combined for a -4 run differential. They outscored their 2, and they won 2 games like we were talking about. Of those 2 games that they won, they outscored opponents 20-2.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird presentation of numbers that a lot of people may look at and say, hey, why is this team specifically not in the championship game then last year?
Yeah, like how they go 2-2.
Yeah, with those numbers. But it's like, even though you go 2-2 with those 2 losses, that's what you have to prevent. It's one of those times where it's either you got to go 3-1 or you got to just get yourself to go in 4-0 because 2-2 is just not going to cut it in this tournament. And with run prevention, his pitching staff, I feel like, has gotten a lot better, especially from what we've seen so far. Indy has definitely the hitters for it, so it's all based off of pitching now. And if they're able to hold up all of these teams during pool play, they have a really far chance in making it, and not just to the championship in this region, but possibly further than that.
That's cracked up the middle and through for a base hit off the bat at Dante Finley. So Finley, after he really struggled to even get on base, shot out 0 for 3 in the earlier game against Gary. And now if you date back to the game against Gary, he has back-to-back hits now.
Yeah, back-to-back hits, and Finley is now finds himself a little bit in his own driver's seat and keeps going and swinging the bat. Of course, that's the thing with these batters. They have to just take it one at-bat at a time, because that one at-bat definitely doesn't define you.
There's strike 1. Or was it? No, it wasn't. Ball 1 downstairs. So William Way, he's the designated hitter for KC in this one. Different lineup than the one they rolled out against Gary. A couple of new additions. Runner on the move, strike called, throw down a second from Lockhart, not in time, and Finley swipes second.
What a great move by Finley. He's able to just quickly get into second base there.
2 balls, no strikes the count. Check that 1-1, I should say. They called it a strike on the pitch. And that's also the big thing, though, with this tournament as well. And what will hurt teams this tournament who will go 3-1 and, be fighting to get into that final is, after head-to-head, runs allowed is the next tiebreaker. And 9 times out of 10 we've seen so far, runs allowed will ultimately play the role of who gets in, not necessarily that head-to-head role unless they have the clean sweep of not only the opponent they're in a tie with, but also the common opponents as well, if there were any.
Yeah, and definitely that's where it's going to be, that defense that has to stand up. Pitching staff, all in all, you're going to want.
That's the short. Nice play by Gooley. He took the long way and the only out there. Finley goes to third.
So it's all based on just defense with that run rule that you have been talking about. And of course, head-to-head it matters, but when talking about that defensive run rule, you have to realize that it's all on that pitching staff. So we'll see how Boggs has helped shaped up this pitching staff. And as I've seen, as I've said again, they look really good. They look like they've been taught really well under Boggs, that they've been able to have a lot more command especially as we see here against Kansas City.
There's Dominic Johnson cutting and missing. He's behind 0-2. He's behind the dish. He was the DH in game 1. Part of that bottom 4 that absolutely dominated. At one point, they were 3 for 5 and had all the runs scored. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 gone on a high fastball. Taylor gets his first strikeout out of the bullpen.
And Taylor, just like Harvey, I mean, both, as I was saying earlier, like these guys are just completely throwing strikes left and right.
Squaring a bunt and fouling it off is Dondre Finley. He had himself a day at the plate against Gary Nike RBI just a couple hours ago, ladies and gentlemen. He reached base safely in all 5 of his plate appearances, which included an RBI triple, a single, and might I add, the highlight though, he stole home.
Yeah, it's definitely a highlight from Finley there. Stealing home is such a rarity in this game now, but seeing him steal it as well as when the pitcher was literally delivering the pitch, sliding underneath the catcher as he catches the ball, was probably one of my favorite highlights of this pool play so far.
Yeah, Friday morning you'll see a lot of chaos, and Saturday nights where you'll see a lot of chaos. The beginning and the end of the pool play, and obviously there's chaotic moments throughout, but those weird wacky plays like a walk-off inside the park home run like we saw a year ago, or 2 teams playing for 2 other cities to go to the championship game like 2 years ago. That was Kansas City, who was one of those teams. There's a strike and it's 2-2. These 2 teams met as the pool play finale in the 2022 regional. Taylor misses with a fastball away and it goes full. And the situation was, if Indy won the game, Cleveland would go to the championship. If Kansas City won, Cincinnati would go to the title game. That's strike 3. Good backdoor breaking ball from Taylor to Finley, and that will end the inning. So nothing comes to the leadoff single from Dante Finley. We've played 2 here at Curtis Granderson Stadium. Indy Nike RBI lead it 4-0 on the Windy City Sports Network. Cam seats the lead off the visiting half of the 3rd inning, and he takes a strike. He reached on an error, so officially 0 for 1. As his team's up 4-0. That one misses high. Ali Bishop Oliver did a great job settling down that 2nd inning, went 3 up, 3 down, faced the minimum, and really only one hard hit ball, which was that flats left. Even then, it was a really routine play. Seats drives that one in the air. Shallow right center. Bryant loses the cap, fights the sun, and makes the catch on the run for out number 1. Oliver has now retired 6 straight Indy hitters.
Yeah, after that dirty slate within that 1st inning, he's able to just keep pounding the zone and retire 6 in a row. I mean,
so So now brings up DJ Mendez. Mendez cuts through that one for strike one. He tripled in a run and scored his last time up. That was in the first inning. And he lines that one up the middle for a base hit. Mendez is 2 for 2. On another hard hit ball from an Indy Nike RBI hitter.
Mendez is just a really quick, swift swing with the bat. He's able to just make such good contact, and that's why he's 2 for 2 for today.
Will Jacobs doubled his last time up and later came around to score. As he represents the number 4 spot in the lineup card this afternoon.
Yeah, with Indy, it's kind of a classic lineup you have with their 4 and 5 hitters both having extra base hits already.
A lot of power at the top.
Yeah, and that's what you usually see, but with Kansas City, especially within that game against Gary, you saw a decent amount of power and contact within those last 4. This game, though, it's been kind of a little bit all over the place.
We're on the move, strike on the pitch, throw down a second, not in time. Mendez sneaks under the tag of Alameen Bishop Oliver, and he's safe at second with a stolen base.
Yeah, Mendez is just sneakily just stealing every single base. He has such great speed as well.
That's driven in the air, deep left field. Powell going back to the wall, turns and it's gone. Will Jacobs will touch them all. A 2-run homer makes it 6-0.
My, oh my, Will Jacobs. Yes, he can. Man, that guy is just hitting with so much power. Already a double, now a homer.
Gets the mob at home plate from his teammates. 6-0 Indy Nike RBI.
Yeah, but Will Jacobs, I mean, have yourself a day, kid. He already has the double. He just had a home run. I mean, what can this guy not do? It's just an amazing display that we've seen already from him.
Awkward swing there from Combs, so the sac flies last time up. So we've got a home run here, first over the fence home run we've had in a regional game at Curtis Granderson Stadium since 2022.
Yeah, waiting 2 years, but it was definitely worth that wait. It's an amazing display that you see. And we hope for more home runs to go over that fence and as this pool play goes on.
2 balls, 1 strike to count to Combs. He got underneath that one right side. Navarro gave it chase and runs out of room.
I want to say with Ali, his pitches weren't that bad. He's just like the location of everybody on Indy is just hitting them.
Line left side, base hit. Combs with 2 great at-bats. He had the sac fly in the first and now a single here in the third to keep the momentum rolling for Indy.
Yeah, this team just keeps on hitting, keeps on rolling. They're just a train, a big old freight train that is just not seeing any stoppage anytime soon.
So Jacobs with the home run. That's a strike there. Fly ball, right field, charging in and dropping in front of Dontere Finley. Nice job by Bishop Oliver to back it up, but both runners are safe at second and third. That's a double for Colin Gooley.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to grab it, but it just reaches on past him. little bit diving of a play, and he's not able to get any glove on it. Thankfully, we have the backup there, so we have our runners at second and third instead of having one at third and one scoring. But it's definitely a turn of unfortunate events.
Yeah, for Don Shea Finley's team, tough sledding here in this one. After all the momentum they had from a 11-run victory, or 9-run victory, I should say, the 12-3 win. Now here they're down 6-0. They gave up the home run to, believe it or not, the player who did not win the home run derby last night. One of his teammates did, obviously, with Micah Rinstra-Kirikov winning the derby last night. This team rakes.
Yeah, this team definitely rakes. When you have the home run derby champion and he's not even the one that's hitting the home runs out today for his Indy team, you just see that there's so many powerful bats on this team, and they just keep on dropping down.
Carter Hunt takes a first pitch fastball up and tight for ball 1. Indy so far, 6 runs on 6 hits. And it's 2-0 to Hunt. The second baseman ended the first inning with a looking strikeout.
So Hunt a little bit more conservative with the bat. I mean, at least with his first plate appearance. His second one, he's a little bit as well. He hasn't swung at any pitches, but no need to because the first 2 have been balls.
There, center field, Bryant charging, makes the catch on the run. Tagging from third is Combs. Throw to the plate, up the line, it bounces in and out of the mid of Johnson. That's a sacrifice fly for Carter Hunt, and it's 7-0.
Good piece of contact by Carter Hunt there. He's able to just do the job and get one in. That ball was traveling out there in center field. The dimensions 401 to that batter's eye. So long ways to go out there, but man, he was able to push one out and able to make sure that he's getting this sac fly.
To the right side and through the legs of Bishop Oliver in a right field for a hit. It'll be an E4. Another run comes in. It's 8-0 Indy.
Yeah, and again, Bishop Oliver today has just not been the greatest day defensively. I think that's the second one that's been eaten up by him.
Second E4. No RBI for Lockhart, as Carson Griggs, the DH, will come on up. Courtesy runner in for Lockhart, the catcher.
There's another 4 spot for Indy already. They're already up 8.
Jorge Mendoza, by the way, just want to make sure his name gets called out, is the courtesy runner, his first appearance in this tournament. And he'll dive back in safely. Greg struck out looking back in the second, as that one rides away from the zone for ball 1. 8-0 the score. Like James mentioned, a 4-run third inning here in progress for Indy Nike RBI, highlighted by the 2-run homer by Will Jacobs. That one smacked on the ground to short. Finley bobbles it, and he's got nowhere to go with it. A second consecutive infield error by the Royals Nike RBI here in the third inning, and it will continue with 2 outs.
Yeah, it looks like the clock is kind of like struck 12 already here, as Kansas City goes from being that favorite team and having such an amazing first game to this one just them feeling very out of touch with reality right now.
They're up to 4 errors already as a team in this ballgame.
Yeah, and that's something that they did have a little bit, but not as many as 4.
Strike called there. They had 5 against Gary in the first game. They have 4 here. Smack to third, Sanchez, a low throw, but Navarro picks it there, and that will end the inning. But Indy expands their lead and begins to bust this one open. Will Jacobs sent that ball for a ride. And we're going to the bottom of the third. 8-0, Indy on top. Last of the third, and it's 8-0 Indy Nike RBI. As Alameen Bishop Oliver gets his first digs in this tournament and takes a strike. It's been an unfortunate day defensively for him so far. There's a couple of bad breaks. He's behind 0-2 quickly as Taylor has been shoving so far here.
Yeah, Taylor's been shoving so far, and Oliver, I mean, it's been a struggle for him, definitely.
That's strike three. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Caden Taylor out there, and that'll bring up the top of the order. So Ali Bishop Oliver, who struck out swinging to open up this ball game for the home half of it, comes back in for a second go round. This will be his first time against Taylor. He struck out swinging against Weston Harvey, the starter who just won an inning of work.
Yeah, and even though Weston Harvey won an inning of work, that inning of work was such a beauty, and it's definitely something where you think maybe it was just pitch count, or maybe they just needed to rest him up and decided for him to be ready for maybe the championship game later on in.
Weak tapper back to the mound. Taylor with plenty of time to flip it to first for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, this is a great outing by Taylor. Just goes up, first two up, first two down. It's the first one on the strikeout, and this one just a tapper straight back to him and flips it on over to first base.
So 2 gone now, and no one aboard here, Saron Bryant. That one's downstairs. Ball 1. Now the windup, the next offering. Drops off the table and into the zone for strike 2.
That was a good pitch by Taylor right there. Drop some velo on that one.
Bryant pops it up. It remains 1-2.
So close yet so far from entering our press box.
Like I said, we've been here for this is year 3. We haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
And I'm kind of wishing for one. Just it would be it's one of those baseball oddities that I kind of love.
Be cool. Take a photo and then you throw it back out the window.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fish. It's you reel it in, then throw it back. Maybe give it a little kiss too.
I gotta play with that, you know. Also, like, you don't know where that that baseball's been traveling everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
3-2. Did he? He did. And that will end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Royals, Nike RBI side in the 3rd. Good job by Caden Taylor. Striking out 2 in the frame. We've played 3. It's 8-0 Indy here on WCSN 2. Top of the 4th, it's 8-0 as Cam Seats, who led off the last inning, will lead off this one as well. Indianapolis Nike RBI sent all 9 hitters to the plate in the 3rd, and they put up 4 more runs as that one misses downstairs. Bishop Alver remains the pitcher.
Yeah, Milwaukee looks to do the same thing, hopefully going for the cycle again.
Yeah, one makes the count 2-1. Seats is 0 for 2. He's reached on an error and scored and flew out. Make it 3-1 as that one never really reaches the plate.
Hopefully Seats is able to get on base for the first time here, and I'm not too sure on how many people have reached base. I think it's...
They add one more to the total as Seats has himself his first hit of this tournament. And it's a nice leadoff single to left field. And here's been the funny thing. The leadoff man has only reached base in 2 of the first 4. That's the first leadoff hit of the game for Indy.
Yeah, it's definitely, usually what you see is a lot of leadoff men within baseball. They're usually within the rally, usually.
Seats, by the way, is the 11th base runner for Indy overall. So that is reaching base regardless of the result. That includes errors, fielders' choices, whatever that might be. Seats is number 11 for Indy here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, so 11 base runners, 8 runs already. Coming back to what you were saying, there's 2 of the 4 have only, for leadoff men, have reached base. Usually within baseball, when the leadoff man does get on base, it accounts for runs. So we'll see what happens here with Indy.
Runner goes for second, pitches a strike, throw down, not in time. It bounced in there, and Seats has himself a stolen base.
Seats is able to just be so speedy, and the catcher, unfortunately, ball just wasn't as quick enough to exit his hand, so was able to just slide on in there and make way of being at second.
Off the plate, and it goes full, 3-2. DJ Mendez has an RBI triple and a single to his name in the scorecard. And cracks that one on the ground at third. Sanchez backhands it. Long throw from third. Not in time, and there's a big collision there at first base. The ball is still alive as Navarro is down on the ground. We'll see what they do with the runner here, as Seats technically just came across the score, but right now all the concern, and rightfully so, is on Navarro, who is down on the ground there at first base.
Yeah, we sure hope Navarro is okay. He did take a really big hit, really blindsided.
Trying to field the ball, which was drifting towards the baseline. And we're gonna take a break right now. We'll be right back in a moment. Welcome back here inside Curtis Granderson Stadium. Good news is Miguel Navarro was able to get up under his own power, and he's remaining into the ball game. He's still at first base. Him and DJ Mendez both gave each other a high five, saying it's all good. You know, it wasn't intentional. So the run does score on the play. So Will Jacobs, the home run hitter from last time, steps up, runner on first, and no one out here in the top of inning number 4.
Yeah, some good sportsmanship right after that scary spill. We're glad to see that Navarro is okay, and both sides are up and healthy as can be. Of course, he'll probably feel some bruises and bumps later on, though.
Jacobs turns on one. That's a fair ball down the left field line and all the way to the corner. Mendez flying around. They're going to wave him. The relay throw from Finley is offline. It's 10-0 as Jacobs is on his way for third. And he will be content there with an RBI double. And Indy leads by double digits in this one.
Man, Will Jacobs is, again, just having a phenomenal day. He's 3 for 3, a double, or 2, and then a home run already. He's knocked in so many RBIs, and what can you ask from this kid other than to just keep on doing what you're doing?
And now here's a fly ball to deep left field. Powell back to the wall, and that one's gone.
My goodness. Powell. Powell and Jacobs just having an amazing day. Powell with his 2-run shot right there.
12-0 Indy on a 2-run homer from J.J. Combs. Second 2-run homer of the day for Indy Nike RBI. And because of the home runs, they have run out of baseballs here at Curtis Granderson Stadium.
Yeah, so now we're in a little bit of a delay here as we try and find some baseballs for the umpire to corral and in order to play the game. Can't play baseball without the key equipment.
The baseball.
The baseball. Of course, we play a little bit of a waiting game, but what an amazing swing. Just such drive from both players back to back. He hits a double and then a home run. I mean, that's just a sight to see that it's that you love from this Indy team. And with them also on the defensive side, the pitching has been sailing so smoothly. It's been something that it's kind of like Kansas City is getting their own taste of medicine right now. So it's definitely them throwing a lot of punches at Gary and then getting punched back from Indianapolis. So it's that kind of situation for Kansas City, unfortunately, in this aspect right now.
And he hits the first batter after the home run. And now they have just thrown out Ollie Bishop Oliver from the ball game.
I don't know if that was really intentional or was, but I mean, at that point, of course, you're going to want to think that it's intentional as an umpire because of the home run and then hitting him first pitch right off the bat on the next player.
Now let's see what's going to happen here as Indy leads 12-0 already. Kansas City fans are saying that was an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it did look like it was a bit off speed, so it didn't look intentional to my standpoint at least.
I mean,
But
I've never heard of a guy intentionally throwing at someone with an off-speed pitch.
yeah, it's something that usually when you hit someone with an off-speed pitch, it's just something that slips within your grip and you're not able to control it as much, kind of cutting inwards and probably looking to do some damage with a slider or a curveball, but didn't have enough give with that, so then it ends up hitting the batter.
.34 is done for the tournament is what the home plate umpire just said. So Ollie Bishop Oliver's tournament has come to an end today.
So a very unfortunate turn of events here.
And now that obviously is going to spark a lot of questions from the Kansas City fans and their coaching staff. So the home plate umpire, and we should provide some clarification. The home plate umpire just said number 34 is done for the tournament. 34 is Ollie Bishop Oliver of Kansas City, who just got ejected a moment ago. And now there's a parade of MLB officials headed down there right now, and I think they're going to try to clarify everything in regards to that. Right. Meanwhile, though, Kansas City has to pick a new pitcher now to finish the rest of this inning and perhaps the game. What might be left of it at this point, with Indy up by 12, they are 3 defensive outs away from this game being over because of the run rules.
Yeah, with the run rule already, they're already at 12, and they could just keep piling on more and more. That would help benefit them for the tournament as time goes on. This just puts Kansas City, unfortunately, against the wall as much as possible. One, with losing their player for pitching, and then losing their player in general for the tournament as a whole.
Well, that's if what the umpire said is correct.
Yes, that is totally true if the umpire said is correct, or if it just gets overturned. We'll keep you updated on what happens later on in that aspect. But for the game portion at least, it's it just puts Kansas City still against the wall with them having to quickly and abruptly choose a new pitcher. And we'll see what happens here.
I believe the new pitcher gets as much time as possible to warm up. And now there's a lot of questions coming from the Kansas City dugout as everyone's trying to figure out what is happening right now. Some of the Kansas City infielders have made their way towards that first base dugout. This is the result of the hit by pitch of Gooley right after the home run by J.J. Combs.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Everybody's kind of just wandering around trying to figure out specifically what's happening and get word from the MLB officials as well on what the status is of Ollie Bishop Oliver.
And mind you, I think the key point of confusion and clarification is, and this is where a lot of the questions come in, was obviously the questions already began with the ejection, but then right after when the umpire then came and spoke to everyone here in the press box, number 34 is done for the tournament. That's when it really, all the questions really began, because that seems unprecedented. I'm not 100% sure, though. I don't want to speak for other regionals or other tournaments or on behalf of anyone at Major League Baseball or with the RBI program.
Yeah, it's very unprecedented, but of course,
at least I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, we haven't seen this in this tournament whatsoever, so we'll see. But the bizarre just keeps on bizarring. So
off your screen, and we'll try to show it the best we can. You can kind of see on the right of your screen, you can see the first base umpire. There's a crowd of officials and coaches right now discussing with our infield umpire today. I'm guessing about the ejection and what it means the rest of the tournament. I'm not 100% sure, obviously. But all we know is that Ollie Bishop Oliver was just ejected from the ball game after the hit by pitch of Colin Gooley. And right now, Alameen Bishop Oliver, his younger brother, appears to be the one who's taking over on the mound. That is all we know for now. If this is like normal high school baseball as well as college and Major League Baseball, Bishop Oliver will be allowed as much time as possible to warm up because he's coming in cold officially. Even though he's been playing second base, he's coming in cold as a pitcher.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair for him to get as much time as possible. I mean, usually you would have people in the pen warming up, but for just such a weird case of scenarios, you just have to have him warm up as much as possible. So giving him as much time needed will help him keep warm, even though he's been playing at second base. He's going to make sure that every pitch he's taking is perfect, and he's able to make sense of where he's at in the mound and make sure that he's able to get it all.
We're going to take a break here while I continue to sort everything out. We'll be right back. 12-0 the score here on WCSN 2. Welcome back. First pitch post Ejections popped up to the right side. The new second baseman, Victor Guerrera, makes the catch for the first out of the frame. The new pitcher is Alameen Bishop Oliver.
Alameen Bishop Oliver, right out of the gate, he's able to just throw one right over the middle. It popped him up, really kind of corn right there, and get the first out of this bottom of the fourth.
So I would assume that Guerrera will now go and bat in Ollie Bishop Oliver's spot in the lineup card as Alameen Bishop Oliver steps off.
Excuse me, my mistake. Is still the top of the fourth.
That one misses downstairs. That one's up the middle, in and out of the glove of the shortstop. The throw to first. Got him. Nice recovery by Dante Finley. And Lockhart is retired.
Yeah, Finley just bobbles the ball just a little bit. He's able to secure it then and throw it on over to first and get the one out instead of being empty-handed.
So with two gone in the frame, here's Carson Griggs, the DH. Mind you, because of the run rules, according to tournament rule book here, should this game remain 12-0 after the bottom of the fourth inning, then Indianapolis will be the winner of this game by the tournament mercy rules. It's 15 after 3, 12 after 4, and 10 after 5 here on the baseball side of things for both junior and senior divisions. That's a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, so for Kansas City to have at least one chance of life in this bottom half, they have to score at least one.
Good block by Johnson, throwing at third. He got him. Great throw, great tag as Johnson and Sanchez connect to end the frame. Indy's 3 outs away from a victory if Kansas City doesn't score a run. We go bottom 4 next on WCSN 2. Welcome back, bottom 4. A slew of changes here for Indy Nike RBI, starting on the mound as Taylor's day comes to an end after 2 innings of solid relief work. And the second pitch is grounded in and out of the mitt there of Dario Gasseri's glove, but he's able to make the play for the out.
Yeah, the great play by Gasseri's there. He's able to just, it bounces out of his mitt for a quick second, and then able to just calmly flip it to first, getting him the first out of this bottom slate of the 4th.
Jorge Mendoza enters the game to catch. As Navarro stands in. Ground ball back up the middle to his left. Goalie, 2 down. So Indy's an out away from victory here.
Goalie, a great defensive play there. Just quickly goes right into his area, able to corral and just throw it on to first, securing the second out of this 4th inning.
Gasseri's first offering is tapped weakly back to the mound off the bat of Finley. An easy play there, and Indy Nike RBI win it by a final of 12-0. A dominant victory from start to finish as they run rule Kansas City Royals RBI. Here in their first game of their tournament. That was a dominant performance from start to finish.
Yeah, very dominant performance by Indy start to finish as they're able to just mash balls left and right. Their pitching staff as well, not really getting Kansas City to do anything on the day, as we'll see how Indianapolis is able to stand on as the rest of pool play goes on.
Yes, we will. We got about a half an hour until the conclusion of day 1 begins, with the finale between Indianapolis and Gary. The Nike RBI program's getting set for that one. Battle of the Hoosier State. Gonna be a fun one. Until then, James Wiegand and I will talk to you then. You've been watching the 2024 MLB Nike RBI Central Regional Tournament on the Windy City Sports Network 2.